Okay, we're working on strip number 3. And with strip number 3, we're going to be using the Pythagorean Theorem. So let's look at first problem number 3 on here. And it says, look at the isosceles triangle QRS. What is the perimeter of the triangle QRS? And so what we're going to have to do is take this triangle, and we need some dimensions for it. If they want the perimeter, I know the perimeter means I need to add up all 3 sides. Okay? So I need to add all 3 sides. Now, let me go ahead and do this, put 2 marks here, because this is an isosceles triangle, which means that 2 of the sides, or at least 2 of them, have the same measure. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go to this grid, and I'm going to count to see how far the distance is from R to S. And so when I count that from left to right or right to left, I get a total of 10 units. Okay, now next I'm going to draw a line that divides this right triangle, and that wasn't a good line, but I'm going to draw a line that divides this triangle in half, and you kind of get the idea of what that should look like. And then I'm going to count the units to see just what that height is. And so when I count that, I get a height of 12. So now I know something else. I know when I divide this, I get 2 right triangles. So if you look like over here, you can see that this side forms a right triangle, and then this side, it forms a right triangle. So if this side is 12 and this line divides this base in half of 10, so half of 10 is 5, so that means on this side, and I'll just color code it, this side is equal to 5, and then the other side, and I'll change colors here so you can just see the difference. The other side is also equal to 5, and together they both make 10. So if you think about it, then we have a right triangle, 2 right triangles. One side is 5, then the other side here is 12, and that means we have C missing, which is the hypotenuse. And on the other side, the right side of it, this leg is 5. Of course, this leg is still 12, and the hypotenuse is missing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this missing side of a right triangle where one of the legs is 5 and the other leg is 12, and I'm searching for the hypotenuse. And here's our formula on how we find missing side. A squared plus B squared, and we have to do the square root of it. So that would be 5 squared plus 12 squared, and the square root. And when I put that inside my graphing calculator, I get 13. So now we know that the hypotenuse, I almost said the leg, but the hypotenuse is equal to 13. Well, if that side is equal to 13, then the other side is obviously 13 because they are isosceles triangles. So what you have is one side is 13, the other side is 13, and then this long side, it is 10. So now we have all the information we need to do the perimeter, which would be 13 plus 13 plus 10, which equals 36. So if that is the case, then the answer choice is A. All right, next, we're going to go to problem number 4, and I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, so number 4 says point T is located at 6, 3. Which expression can be used to find the distance from T to S? So we're going to go to the grid, and we're going to find 6, 3. So 6, 3 would be over here, going to the left, to the right at 6 and go up to 3. So I'm just going to put a general area. It's hard for me to get it, but 6, 3 is somewhere in this vicinity, so we're going to call that T. Next, it says, which expression can be used to find the distance from point T to point S? And you can see S is here. So I'm going to make a line from S to T. All right, now when I do that, I'm looking for that distance. Well, since that's a slanted height, I can only count on a grid going horizontal and vertical. So that means I'm going to have to create a right triangle. And so when I do that, I'm going to go here, going horizontal. Then I'm going to have to go here vertically, like that. Okay? And when I do that, now I'll have to be able to count my units. Okay, so when I do the math, I'm looking and I see that this bottom portion, or that leg, is equal to 10. And this part, the other leg, that is equal to 8. So I have two legs, 10 and the other one is 8. So when I use the Pythagorean Theorem, it would be a squared plus b squared. And for this particular problem, they don't want the solution. They want you to just find the expression that you would use to find it. And so here I'm looking, this can't be true because I'm not looking for the hypotenuse. I only subtract when I'm trying to find a leg. So I've said that wrong. What I'm doing is I am looking for the hypotenuse, so I should be adding two legs. This one is showing subtraction, and you only subtract when you're trying to find a missing leg. Letter G looks correct because they're taking the two legs, they're squaring them, and they're doing the square root. So I like that one. And then here on letter H, they're using subtraction, and I only use subtraction when I'm looking for a missing leg. And then here, they're doing a squared plus b squared, but they're not doing the square root. So this wouldn't complete the problem. So there's only one other step that's missing, and you have to use the square root to find that side. If not, you'll just have the area of the square. So this one, I can't use it. So the best answer is letter G.